Okay, I'm just gonna wait a couple of minutes, a minute or two, so everybody can join. Okay, so this is where we're going. Okay, so just give me a thumbs up. Can you see me and can you hear me? I just started again. Well, I can see no people joining, but I can see your comments, which is weird. Tina says, I can see and hear you now, but I don't know if this is from before the live or if it's live. Oh, one person's joined. Can you just type in there? And Lauren says, I think it's just started again. If you heard me say your comment, just let me know and then we'll be good to go. Can you see these animals on screen? Okay, great. I've got cool. I'm just making sure that everybody's joining the new screen. Okay, I'm just gonna wait another, I think, minute, and then we'll begin. Great. So let's see. Fran, so we've got Dahlia, Neil, Fran, Sue, and Cindy. Welcome, everyone. I've never had, and Tina's here, awesome, and Jay's here. Okay, great. Okay, there were about 4 others. We'll give them a second. I just want to tell you, when I went to the Panorama route, we went to the Panorama route with my family. The Panorama route is another name for the route that takes you to the Blyde River Canyon. We stayed at one of the most amazing resorts, but I'll tell you about that shortly. Okay, let's give it another 30 seconds. And we can start again. Okay, we're live. Welcome. Today we're going to South Africa again. Now I'm from Cape Town, which is all the way down here at the bottom of South Africa, and we're going to be going to the Blyde River Canyon, which is in that dot, that red little dot there. Probably almost the furthest possible place I could get from Cape Town. Just to drive from Cape Town to Johannesburg is about 1,600 kilometers, so very far. Now, there's actually 2 canyons pretty close by. We've got the Blyde River Canyon, and in this country, on the left-hand side, on the furthest left-hand side, so I'm just going to put my finger, this one over here, is Namibia. And in Namibia, you can find another beautiful canyon that I've been to. Actually, I've got some photos. This is one of them. This is the Blyde River Canyon. Now you can see the complete opposite. I mean, this is the Fish River Canyon. As you can see, it's a complete opposite to the Blyde River Canyon. The Fish River Canyon is extremely dry. And then you've got the Blyde River Canyon, which is just beautiful and green. So we're going to be going to, there's a lot to do. It's actually called the Panorama route. There's lots to do, but for us, we're going to be going and seeing the viewpoints, different viewpoints. We're going to start off at one called Pinnacle Point. Then we're going to go to a place called God's Window. Then one of the most beautiful views is called the Three Rondavels. And finally, we're going to drive down into the canyon, and we're going to look at the canyon from the bottom looking up. So we're going to get a real feeling for the Blyde River Canyon. Yeah, so this is those canyons I showed, two different canyons. The one's the Fish River Canyon, which is in Namibia, completely dry, and then we've got the beautiful green Blyde River Canyon where we're going today. Okay, so I'm going to start. I just want to show you what this is, what the Blyde River Canyon looks like on a map. Now, South Africa, if you look at a topographical map of South Africa, you'll see that Cape Town is like on sea level, and then as you leave Cape Town, the land rises onto a plateau. And where Blyde River Canyon is that plateau goes down into escarpment, and that creates the beautiful vistas and views that we're going to see today. So that's just like a little quick explanation. Okay, let's go. Let's begin. Okay, so we're going to start with a topographical map of the Blyde River Canyon. There it is, the Blyde River Canyon. This is actually in one of the museums, and it was actually taken down in the canyon. I think Tina's asking what is the altitude. I think it's I've got it written down. I'll let you know a little bit later. So there you can see the three rondavels. Can you see it says three rondavels? This is where we're going to be going at the end of the tour, down there where the river is. And then we're going to look now for God's Window. It's going to be around here as well. There you can see what it looks like. Really helpful to see like an overall view. So there's a beautiful river at the bottom that flows through the canyon, and it's just so green. I always find these topographical maps really helpful to like get a sense of where you are. Yeah, so that's where we're going to end up, at Blyde River Dam. And here's our first stop. This is going to be Pinnacle Point. Now, I didn't realize this, but at each viewpoint, you pay an amount, you drive your car in, or there's a little mouse, and this is Pinnacle Point. You'll see why as we walk in. So a little bit more general information about the Blyde River Canyon. The Blyde River Canyon is 26 kilometers long. It's located, the top part, the viewpoints are located in Mpumalanga, but when you drive down into the canyon, you actually cross over into Limpopo. There's the Pinnacle, that massive rock. What makes this canyon really special is that unlike the Fish River Canyon and the Grand Canyon in the US, this canyon is green. dominated by subtropical vegetation, and it's part of the Blyde River Canyon Nature Reserve. Now, this whole area is known as I love this sign, do not go beyond this point. This whole area is known as the Panorama route. It's a scenic road in South Africa. Just even before we got to the canyon, it was just one of the most beautiful places in South Africa to drive through. Just green, undulating mountain, like hills and trees. It's just a really beautiful place to visit compared to some of the other places we drove through while doing an epic road trip through South Africa and beyond. And the Panorama, so when you say the Panorama route, everybody's Blyde River Canyon viewpoints. It's one of the top things to do. So the Blyde River Canyon is the scenic road in South Africa connecting several cultural and natural points of history. The route is steeped in the history of South Africa and is centered around the Blyde River Canyon, the world's third largest canyon. It features numerous waterfalls and an amazingly forested area in South Africa with several natural landmarks. Some of the places that I'm sure taking you to the viewpoints, but there's a lot places that we're not going on this tour, but you can go when you're on the Panorama route, are the waterfalls. So they've got waterfalls like the Mac Falls, Lisbon Falls, Berlin Falls, and then they've got this also a very strange but beautiful these rocks that have been created by the water called Borklaks potholes. I wanted to go there on this trip, but the time we got there, they're already closed. Good to know. Like these scenic views aren't open 24/7. They're open from the morning until about 5 o'clock, depending on the season. We went in winter, so they closed at about 5 o'clock. So where we're standing now, we are about 1,700 meters above sea level, and the views we're looking down at into the Lowveld, that area down there is situated about 800 to 1,000 meters. Okay, so we've left Pinnacle Point, and we've driven now about 10 minutes drive, and now we're going to view God's window. No, this is my first time coming to the Panorama route, Neil's asking. I'd always wanted to come and see Blyde River Canyon. So just an interesting fact about the name, the Blyde River. The canyon is named for the river that runs through it, the Blyde River. Blyde means glad or happy in Afrikaans, or in Old Dutch. It was a name derived from the fur trekkers. The fur trekkers today are like the Afrikaner people, and we'll learn a lot about them next week. They were descended from the Dutch, and they created their own language, Afrikaans. And the river was it's from their expedition that they named it the Happy River. That's what it translates to, the Blyde River. It was named that in 1844 when Hendrik Potgieter and others returned safely from the Loga Bay. Why it was called the Happy River is their compatriots and comrades thought they had died, and they just assumed they had died en route, and so there's actually another river close by called Rivier, which means morning river. So when they were crossing Rivier, they thought they were dead, so they named that river Tierra Fria, and then they came to the Blyde River Canyon and they found their compatriots who they thought they were dead, who had survived. And so that's how the Blyde River, the happy river, got its name. Yeah, so I was with my family at this point, my mom and dad. You may see them on the walk. And here we are. This is God's window. This particular viewpoint provides, there's three little places we're going to see. This is the first one. This particular viewpoint provides a vertical rock frame of images of the west-eastern facing slopes of the Mpumalanga escarpment, covered by the indigenous mist belt forests, and hence it's referred to as God's window. This is one of the viewpoints. We're going to have a look at 3 of them. Here we're now going to the main God's window. And we're going to go on a walk shortly for 200 paces where we can wander through some of that indigenous forest and experience what it's like to be closer to the plants. I love that they have these signs. There's also endemic plant species that are found here and no one else. One of them is called the Cape Primrose. So there you can see it. I think if I move a little, we'll get a little, you can see the escarpment. We'll get some better shots. Look at that bird. Can you see that bird? So let's talk a little bit about the plant life here. The Blyde River Canyon Reserve is one of the few areas of montane grassland in Mpumalanga that still exists. The grassland consists of more than 1,000 flora species, of which many are endemic, rare, or endangered. Another extraordinary inhabitant is the Taita falcon, which is only found in a few places in the world. Visitors can also see a variety of wildlife. One of them is the kudu, which I'm going to show you at the end of the tour. So the Blyde River Canyon extends along the lip of the Great African Escarpment. From the crater rim, guests can look eastwards over the layered rocks of the canyon walls, and looking down. It's at this point that the ancient supercontinent Gondwanaland broke apart, and Madagascar and Antarctica tore free from Africa some 200 million years ago. The broken edge of the continent was gradually tilted upwards by the weight of the vast, shallow sea stretching west towards Pretoria. The sea was already ancient when Gondwanaland was split by these earth-shaping forces, leaving behind layers of dolomite and sandstone that laid down as sediments for millions of years. And here it is. Here's the main viewpoint of the God's window. This is the God's window viewpoint. You'll see the sign as we leave. So there you can see the escarpment on the one side, the mountains going down. just a really spectacular and awe-inspiring viewpoint. God's window. So this area, the Blyde River Canyon, and also the Drakensberg Mountains and Escarpment are very popular tourist attractions. In fact, the Drakensberg Escarpment is this is not even a World Heritage Site. The Drakensberg Mountains are a World Heritage Site. Tina says that this place looks like Pandora and Avatar. The place that they based Pandora on is in China, and I would love to visit there. And if I do, I'll take my camera, I'll film, and we can experience it as well. So Dahlia is asking what time of day I was here. I was here at about this is about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and in fact, by the time we got to the 3 rondavels, I wasn't able to get into to the viewing point of the 3 rondavels. We just stopped along the road, and we still got to be able to see those 3 rondavels, which are even more spectacular. It just gets better and better. There's my dad and my mom. Show them that they were very patient with me. So we're gonna go now to the through that montane forest. You're gonna have a look. You're gonna have a feeling for what it looks like to walk through this greenery that you see along the down in the canyon. So here's some more information about God's window. So we're gonna walk 200 paces, and which is actually quite far to get another viewpoint. But this is the viewpoint we're gonna see from that angle. Is going to be now a viewpoint just looking out on the land. It's not going to be framed, and you'll see when we get there, it's not going to be framed in the same way that God's window is. Then, there's no monkeys here, but don't worry, we will be seeing them. After here, we'll be going to the 3 rondavels. After the 3 rondavels, we're going to be driving into the canyon. And so what's amazing is you can stay inside the canyon. You just need to drive down there. It does take a while, but it's possible. And I did almost a month-long trip with my family driving through South Africa. This was definitely one of the highlights. And in terms of accommodation, the resort that we stayed at the bottom of the canyon was probably my favorite. It was just beautiful, and you'll see why when we get to the bottom. Just the view from the canyon from below is just equally as spectacular. And there we got a really nice view looking down the escarpment. So we'll take a little walk, but what I want to show you quickly while the video is playing is at the resort they had kudu. This is a baby kudu and the mom. They were staying near our accommodation, and I tried to hide from the mom, and she gave me this very this classic meme. I sent it to all my friends. This look, so I hit her, I went around the tree and then she looked at me. That picture, like, it's just a classic memeable picture that I really enjoyed. I shared it with everyone. It's just a classic picture. Kudu mom was very protective. What was amazing was that when you got to the resort, these kudu are on around the resort, and so it was quite dark, but you would see they would all be sitting down, and you'd just see these heads sticking up in the night, so you didn't bump into them. She definitely had her eye on me. So my advice, if you're coming to God's Window, you don't need to do this walk. The best views are actually a really short distance away. So I'm taking you to the hike. The reward is not as good as God's Window, in my opinion. God's Window was the most spectacular, but I was just keen to explore all parts. That's why we're going to walk through this beautiful forested area. Going to get a different viewpoint, and you're going to see each viewpoint is going to be completely different when we go to the 3 rondavels, sunset, and it's also just something else. I'll post that picture of the kudu, mom and baby, on the Facebook group. So if you're not part of the Facebook group, I always put extra info there. And it's a great way to get extra info. So you could spend days here at the Blyde River Canyon, because you've got the viewpoints, you've got the waterfalls, you've got the pools you can swim in, there's caves you can go in. Yeah, kudu is the animal that I showed you. They actually make really maybe I shouldn't say this, but in South Africa we eat a lot of the game meat, which is actually really healthy. Like ostrich is a very healthy meat, and reason why the gamey meats are very good is because they're very lean meats. If you want to be healthy, ostrich meat, kudu burger, it's a very, very good meat to have. Oh, spelling is kudu, Kudu, like you spelled it there. I just love this forest. It's really beautiful. If you do find yourself in South Africa, I really do recommend try some of the local, if you have to try some of the local meat, the wildlife meat. It's really healthy, really good for you. It's not as fatty, very lean. You just can't cook it too much because otherwise it gets quite tough. So we're almost at the viewpoint. Here we are. We're gonna come to it now. There it is. Yeah, we're coming to it. We are going to see some little monkeys on this trip in our last part. So here you can see, like, you can see the escarpment it like flattens out, and you can just see that drop. And then you can see the mountains. So you can see it's a wide open space, but on the next area we're going to go to is more enclosed. The mountains continue. can see we've embraced the love lock. Yeah, I don't know if I would want to put on those locks. You're really, really close to the edge right there. Hi, Annette. So very shortly we're going to be going to the 3 rondavels viewpoint, and they've got an interesting reason why they're called that. And so, no, next spot, there we can see some more information about God's window. We were really lucky that when we visited that we just had such beautiful, clear views. Like the most iconic parts, the parts that everybody knows about the Blyde River Canyon, is to see God's window and see the 3 rondavels. Oh, yeah, there are lots of people coming up and down here. Nice. Now, in the canyon in Namibia, the Fish River Canyon, at a certain times every year, I think it's, not sure exactly when the season is, but there's a certain season where you're allowed to go hiking. And my brother's been lucky enough to go twice, I think, through that canyon. Okay, here we are. This is the 3 rondavels. Now, this is at just past 5 o'clock. The sun was setting. It's winter in South Africa, and so I wasn't able to get into the viewpoint. But this time of day is beautiful, and we'll still be able to see the 3 rondavels. There you can see them. There's the first one, there's the second one, and the third one is slightly hidden behind the rock on the left. So 1, 2, 3. The 3 rondavels are major icons of the famous Blyde River Canyon. They are 300 million years old, these 3 rondavels. 1, 2, and the other one is just slightly hidden there. They were formed by erosion from the Blyde Tier, so the morning rivers. The 3 rondavels also named after the 3 wives of one of the local chiefs here. And yes, so I'm gonna. So the 3 rondavels sit in the heart of the Blyde River Canyon. So when we go down, we're gonna be able to see part of them. And rondavel. So what a rondavel is in South Africa a hut. Another name for a hut, a circular hut, is a rondavel, and so that's how they got their names. So it looks like a hut. So here we are. We've actually driven now into the canyon itself. So it takes a couple of hours, but this is actually the next day. So we viewed those points, then we drove. Yes, Dahlia's. Yeah, rondavel is a style of African hut known as a cone, cylinder, or cone on a drum. So it's those circular huts, and that the cone on the top is makes it look like that. Is how I get the name rondavel. So I wanted to get this driving here just to show you what it looks like, the canyon looks like from the bottom. And very shortly we're going to be right in the heart of the Blyde River Canyon, at the bottom, at the Blyde River Dam. And for me, this was the most spectacular part, because just to be down at the bottom and look up at the mountains, have the water, you could also take a boat. It's just an amazing experience. You're also going to see a baboon as well. So there you can see the mountain and how it's eroded over time. And here we are. We've arrived at the Blyde River, and here's the baboon. You can see there's a baby baboon on her back, holding on for dear life. Yes. Yeah, my dad was driving. We took turns. Okay, and here we are. We're gonna see. This is the most spectacular part. This is a little museum. We actually saw it right at the beginning of the tour. That's where I showed you the topographical map of what Blyde River Canyon looks like, and we're going to be walking inside. We're going to see the Blyde River, and then the mountains, and it's just so spectacular. I was so happy that we spent the time to drive into the canyon. It was a long drive, but to see this view, which is going to come into view now, was what made it all worth it. There's lots of things you can do here in the Blyde River. You can take a boat, you can take a hot air balloon, you can go hiking around the river. There you can see there's a little boat. We'll have a little close-up on it. And so this viewpoint was just about a 5-minute drive from the resort that we were staying at. And good tip to know, if you're staying at one of the resorts that are close by to like this particular viewpoint, entry is free. So usually for each place you enter, you pay to enter, but if you're staying at the resort, then you can enter, you just show your proof of accommodation, and then you can enter for free. They're also at the resort, you can organize the boat trips, paragliding, hot air balloon trips, whatever you want to do. You can do. No, I didn't, but I think it would be spectacular to have taken hot air balloon, yeah, or even go on the boat. And it's just, yeah, having that boat there just gives you a sense of scale, because the boat is so small compared to the surrounding mountains. It just gives you that real sense of scale. So this is now the next day. It's early morning, about 10 or 11 o'clock. And here you can get a close-up. You can see the erosion, how the mountains have been formed over millions of years. And this is probably, out of all the viewpoints, this is my favorite. It's just something about like being in the middle of everything like that. Yeah, so this is called the Blyde River Dam. It's a gravity arch dam on the Blyde River in the lower Blyde River Canyon near Hoedspruit in Mpumalanga. This particular dam was completed in 1974. The dam wall is about 71 meters high, and it's about only 22 meters deep. And it's about 3 kilometers from the resort, 3 kilometer drive. What the water is used for here is to provide water for mining and industry and farming around the area. They've also got orchards and croplands established along the lower Blyde. Now, there were some communities that lived in this area where the dam is now, and they were resettled by the government in close by areas before the dam was built. But yeah, just the look of the water, these epic mountains. It's an amazing dam. Like the location of the dam and the mountains just couldn't be better. To be able to see that reflection of the mountains in the water, priceless. I think that's my mom. Down there, I was hearing a noise when I was filming, and I was like, what is making this noise? Turned out it was a baboon. It was somewhere down here. I was trying to look for it. So that's what we're doing now. Thanks. Yeah, so my biggest tip, if you're coming to the Panorama route and you're coming to all these spots, definitely come down into the Blyde River Canyon instead. I can tell you the name of the resort that we stayed. It was called the Swadini Resort, and it was just beautiful. There's animals, you can do little walking trails. There's amazing mountains right in front of you at the resort. You're right in the heart of the Blyde River Canyon. Definitely worth coming to, and to see this view is just the cherry on top. There's also, I'll tell you about it now, there's a hippo. So this area is very close to Kruger. It's all like in a very close area. Kruger National Park is a massive national park. It's bigger than the size of England. It goes, the territory goes into 3 different countries: South Africa, Zimbabwe, and I think Botswana or Mozambique. I'm not 100% sure which is the third country. And there's lots of wildlife. And close by to here, there's a hippo that became friendly with like as a baby with one of the landowners, and now you can meet her. Her name's Jessica, the hippo. So, just want to show this picture. So these are the kudu at Swedini Resort, and I'll be posting this very memeable picture in our Facebook group. Yeah, so that's the Blyde River Canyon. Now there's lots more to it than what I've shown you. There's more viewpoints, but we saw the top two, which was God's Window and the rondavels. But there's more waterfalls, more viewpoints and caves. There's a lot to see around this area. So yeah, this is one of the most special places that I saw on the whole trip to South Africa. So it was definitely one of the highlights. I'm really glad I got to share it with you. And yeah, thank you so much for joining. And yeah, next week I think I must check the order, but I think we're going to be learning about the fur trekkers, which are the Dutch, who became the Afrikaans people. We're going to be learning a little bit about their history. We're going to go to the Fur Trekker Monument in Pretoria. And yeah. Dali asked, was it hot there? No. So when we were in the Blyde River Canyon, because it's winter, it was very pleasant. It was just perfect temperature all around. What happens is Cape Town gets really, really cold, and then the interior, Johannesburg, and all the areas up at the top just have like a super mild temperature, and it's actually a really good time to visit if you want to go to nature reserves. July, August, that is like the perfect time to visit nature reserves in South Africa, because there's no rain. It's quite dry, so the grass isn't as high as it normally is. It's easier to spot animals. All the animals are going to the watering holes. It's a great time to visit. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining. If you haven't yet, please follow me on YouTube, and if you're not part of the Facebook group, join that. Put lots of extra information there, and I'll put the kudu pics there, and provide some more information. And then if you want to get an email once every 3 months, it's free. You can join, buy me a coffee, and then I'll send you an email once every 3 months with all the tours I'm going to do. Oh yeah, so this was a very far. Neil's asking how long away were you away from home. I think it was over 2 weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. South Africa is massive, and we did a very massive, a huge trip starting in Cape Town, going all the way to the Panorama route, so it was pretty far. In Cape Town, it was raining over those whole 3 weeks, but because we left Cape Town and we went onto the plateau, the weather was very pleasant. Great, thank you so much for joining, and yeah, I'm so glad I got to relive this and share it with you, and looking forward to sharing more epic places. Definitely one to look out for is Kimberley. I think it's called, so it's one of the diamond mines tours. I think it's in 2 weeks time. Check that out, that's also a winner. Great, keep on adventuring, keep on exploring, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye, Cindy, Fran, Dahlia, Tina, Jay, Neil, Fran, Annette. See you soon.